Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you guys how to diagnose and explain to you wheel bearings. How to know if the wheel bearings are bad, or if they're going to be bad, or maybe just a rear differential if it's a rear wheel drive vehicle, or maybe front wheel drive vehicle. Maybe it's a differential that makes making noise and you're thinking is a wheel bearing or differential. Well, let's start first with the noise. Noise will come either from the back, from the front, or it could be from all four wheels. All four wheels. If you have aftermarket wide rims, oversized tires, they will destroy your bearings. Not center of gravity, but the center of pressure, or center where all the bearings are supposed to support. Now it's been shifted to the outer side. Instead of being into the center of the bearings, the load is being shifted to the outside, and it twists the bearings and they wear out much faster. That's the reason they fail. This is the reason why I am replacing the wheel bearings, because of aftermarket rims. Not because just aftermarket rims. Aftermarket rims has nothing real to do. It's the wider rims that have negative effect and changes the center of load for the bearings, and they start going bad. The question is, how do you tell if it's a rear differential, maybe front differential, or the bearings? Well, the best way to find out is oil analysis. I did drain the fluid, replace with a fresh fluid, didn't make any changes in terms of noise. However, when I sent to the lab results, I'm like, okay, because the fluid will show you either abnormal metal numbers, type of a metal, and based on that I can tell if it's a differential or not. When I got the results back, I looked at it, I'm like, well, differential is healthy, so it's not a differential, so it's the bearings themselves. So I start shaking the tire, left to right, trying to feel. You can't. It's just, these are massive pickup truck tires, even the car tires, unless it's worn out to the point where it wobbles, then. But if it's just making noise, you can't really tell. You can shake it, or trying to tire, trying to side to side, seeing if there's any movement. You're not gonna be able to feel it. What mileage do they fail? It depends. On my cars, one of my cars, I remember it failed before, like under 120, 130,000 front. Why the front one failed? It failed because I drove through the water. It was raining really hard, and I had to get home, and all the streets were flooded. So car had approximately probably like 120 somewhere, and when you drive through the water gets there to the bearings, to the seals, and once the water is inside your bearings, that's it. It takes out in probably in 1,000 miles or so. It wears out and destroys it, and it failed even without reaching 150, 140,000. In some cases, you can still drive even if it makes noise, but definitely not safe, and it's not the best thing to do. You can get 200, 300,000. Depends on the vehicle, depends how it's being used, depends on the tires, or wheels, tires combination. Are they wide? Are they extra large? It's just those things. It's like, imagine you're wearing a shoes, let's say size, I don't know, just example 11, your average size shoe, and then you go to size 14, 15. How do you think you're gonna feel at the end of the day? Well, same thing with them when it comes to mechanical components. When you put bigger, larger size tires on wheels than it was designed for, you're gonna have problems. So let me show you what worn out wheel bearing, what kind of noise it makes. So here is the removed wheel bearing assembly with the axle. Depending on the car, you don't have to remove the whole axle. Well, you still have to remove the axle, but it could be simpler or much more difficult. It depends. It's still, replacing the wheel bearings, it's still cheaper alternative, big time, than buying a new car or used car with low mileage and making payments. You repair this once, maybe every 200, 300, 400,000, and you're good to go. Maybe every 10 years, you know what I mean? So it's not a big deal. Check this out. You see, think about if I'm driving 25, 35, 50 miles an hour, what kind of noise? It makes a crazy humming noise. You like scratching. There you go. This is the noise, you know what I mean? This is just a good axle will never make a noise. By the way, you won't. I don't know if you'll be able to spin it that easily because you know the bearings. There's a grease there. It might not spin as easily. You're gonna have more resistance, but it will. You will not hear this kind of noise. This is a bearing, worn out bearings. Worn out bearings, you know, age, mileage, like I said, tires and wheels. So that's how you diagnose. You know what I mean? You start with the differential. You send your fluid to the lab. You read the metal wear number, see what's in the fluid, and if the fluid shows that something abnormal, you know what I mean, high metal numbers, then you probably might have a problem with differential. Maybe the bearing with differential fail, you know what I mean. They will tell you the numbers, and based on the numbers, based on top of the metal, you can call them and ask. You know, if you use a reputable lab, the lab that I use Polaris Laboratory. It's maybe one of the biggest labs in the country. Actually, engine manufacturers like a Cummins, they use them, and other Polaris labs. You know what I mean? So, and you can go to their website and you can pick which company you want to use to purchase a kit. You know, the bottle of the kit that you can send. That you buy the kit not through them, but they give you a list of companies that sell those kits, and then once you get the kit from those companies, you send it. It goes directly to their laboratory. They analyze, perform the analysis, and you get the results in email. So which is nice. That's why I use them. So if you ever had to replace your bearings, let me know in the comment sections. Most common that I've seen so far, it's the rear bearings that go bad at about 250, 200,000 miles. But I have replaced myself, the front bearings because of the water. It happens. Nothing to worry about. Actually, coming to my mind just recently on low mileage too, like 140, maybe 150,000, maybe because of the age. It was 15 years, yeah, about 15 years old car, 14, and they just went bad in the front. And actually failed the inspection because the bearings were worn out. So there you go, you know what I mean. Quite simple thing. You can do it yourself. In this case, you need the press. So I know a person who I'm going to take it to them about everything and let them press it, remove them and press it in the new ones. So that saves me what, $800 instead of going to the dealer. So there you go. Well, drop me a comment if you ever replaced your wheel bearings and how bad they were. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video with others. That's how you diagnose or you tell if your wheel bearings are bad or not. Thank you so much. Have an awesome day.